There is a connection between the paranormal, UFOs, and the myths of ancient history. The clues are scattered across the landscape from a forbidden past, maybe even in your own backyard. There is a connection between the true nature of our reality, consciousness, and the unexplained. I'm Carl the Crusher. Let's explore the unknown. What's up, Crusher crew? I gotta be honest, the last couple of months I've been super burnt out and exhausted, and going to ancient locations and hiking out in the wilderness, doing deep meditations, going to places like Skinwalker Ranch, Project Hestelin in Norway, and then visiting these known paranormal hotspots that are potent and full of like this ancient energy and this oftentimes mysterious radiation and energy frequencies and things that we don't quite understand. And that kind of stuff can follow you home. And so what I'm getting ready to do right now is a little bit of a paradox for me. On the one hand, I'm excited because where I'm going tonight, I'm going by myself. I'm going to be doing my own version of a gateway protocol and CE5 contact meditations, where like Jacob Barber and these Delta Force operators, special forces guys that are for the Air Force and the Green Beret that go out and are claiming that they do these UFO capture programs, they use these contact meditations to communicate, and they call it summoning. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go follow Chris Bledsoe on Instagram and Bledsoe Said So, that podcast on YouTube. But I'm going to be going out alone and doing that. And the reason it's a paradox is because on the one hand, I'm excited. This is like, I'm going to start trying to develop a location that's very close to my home, right behind my house. I can't express how close this is into my backyard. And it is full of not only ancient fossilized dinosaur footprints and mysterious creature tracks that are fossilized and imprinted into the sandstone, but tons of ancient petroglyphs and pictographs and all sorts of mysterious stuff. Also what looks like some kind of a star map or a travel chart and everything up this ancient canyon, where there's also an old pioneer fortress. And so I'm going to be going up to this spot that I've been before and that I filmed, where a lot of this mystery started for me. And we're going to be doing it alone again with all this new information, and I'm going to be doing a contact protocol. So it's exciting that it's close to home, but also I'm going to be inviting stuff to be aware of where I am, and it is right close to home. And so the opportunity for whatever I make contact with to actually follow me home is going to be a lot higher. But that's why we have the MUPAS team, the Modular Unidentified Phenomena Alert System, where if something does follow me home, like the Skinwalker phenomena, the hitchhiker effect, where I have paranormal activity or strange dreams, we can capture that proof too. So I've got all my night vision gear, I've got my thermal imager, I've got my camera. We're gonna go out here up this ancient canyon behind my house and see what we can find. Perfect spot for what we're going to do tonight. But some of you might remember that when we've come up here before, I have a whole playlist on my YouTube channel called The Secrets of the Giant Serpent Canyon. This is the same place where there's those giant rocks that look like fossilized dragon heads or giant serpent skulls. They're coming out of the ground. They even look like they have spinal columns like half buried behind them. It's super strange. It's the same canyon where these fossilized dinosaur footprints are. And one of the things that I really want to do this season and on this YouTube channel is to go out where these dinosaur footprints are, that we know that they're found, actually validated by archaeologists, and then spend an entire day where we go all out in the desert where those tracks are and see if we can find new ones that nobody's ever discovered before. Do like a whole radius search around that spot to see if we can find something new. every time I'm online, I'm on TikTok or something, and I see a video where there's like this team of archaeologists or hikers that are out and they discover like a new dinosaur skeleton. I'm like, that could totally happen like anywhere out here. It honestly could. And if you're in a spot where you know there's actually artifacts and dinosaur fossils and footprints, it's super exciting to go out and search around to see if we could find something. I think it would be really fun to make a discovery together as the Crusher crew. So that's one of the things that I want to do out here. But I'm also a little bit hesitant because this is the canyon that's all full of petroglyphs and pictographs that I had several people tell me, don't go up there, stop going up there, it's not good. Like I had the only reason I kept going up there was I had support from Roger and Colleen from the Re-Indigenizing Minds Project, and they really, this is the canyon when they started working with me, when they were like, dude, you're finding stuff and you're seeing these signs and you're following an ancient mapping system. That's when they started working with me. So a lot of amazing things happened, but at the same time, this is the canyon in the same valley that I was researching when my whole life fell apart. This is where I was working when I went through a divorce. This is where I started going and hiking when my father passed away. And a lot of weird supernatural stuff started occurring to me as far as like out-of-body dreams and visions, repressed memories from experiences in my childhood. And then all of a sudden I got kind of like on this pilgrimage to go to these ancient locations and figure out what was going on. That has taken me up to Skinwalker Ranch, over to Hestel in Norway, to all kinds of mysterious places to try and sort this out. But now we're back in the same canyon. I've got better gear. I've got my night vision still only films in 720p, and every time I capture a UFO, people are like, are you filming with a potato? I'm like, look, I know it's a Psionic Aurora Black. I'll put a link so you can go check out the specs if you want. But the next step is I got to get military grade night vision. Luckily, my Patreon team is helping me be able to try and save up to afford some of that better gear. But enough talk. Let's actually go through some of the gear. Let's take a look at the scenery out here in the daytime real quick. The sun's getting ready to go down. Let's get a look at the lay of the land so you know what we're looking at. And then we're going to get the gear out, start doing meditations, and follow through on this whole thing. There's all these little things when you come out here and do these field expeditions, like don't lock yourself out of your truck. Don't accidentally get a flat tire. Remember to bring an offering. So I always buy tobacco at the tribal reservation spot. So like I'll actually just pull into the trade depot or the gas station that's at the reservation and just go in and buy tobacco from them. And that's usually what I use as an offering. And then I just basically go out, do a meditation or kind of like a prayer where I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here, and leave a little bit of this on the ground when I do that. This spot is going to be perfect. This is going to be point of contact. This is going to be base of operations. Zero light pollution out here. There is an airport several miles way over there, so we're going to have to keep an eye out for that. We're going to have to keep an eye out for things flying over from Area 51, which is straight west that way. But other than that, we are in a completely isolated spot right out here behind my house, in a spot that I know I've seen stuff, that I know there is like a Skinwalker Canyon right over here. I've had all kinds of weird things happen. And we're the only ones here. It's super quiet. So let's get the gear out and get ready. Everything that I bring with me will fit in this little satchel or a backpack. So what I have is a radiation sensor. This is the actual Geiger counter. All this stuff you can get off of Amazon. Some of it I have down in my link tree. This is a big black light that you can shine, look around, look for scorpions or different kinds of artifacts. I have a spirit box. This is like one of those boxes, a ghost box, where it scans through the radio frequencies and signals and tries to pick up spirit voices. It's a little bit pseudoscience, but you know, sometimes you get strange stuff. I've been in a location where I've turned this thing on where there was supposed to be a UFO buried underground at Mount Wilson, and then it said my name, the other two people, it said their first names, and then it said Jeff's father's name and his mom's name. It said like 5 people's names of people who were all affiliated with the ranch, and it somehow did that through this. So that's an interesting one we might use. This is the night vision that I've been talking about. This is the Psionics Aurora Black night vision. It's not the Pro, but it does film 720p. When you zoom in, it can get a little bit pixelized and blurry, but it's nice because you put the SD card in, the battery in. It's very portable, and you can basically just put it on like a handheld selfie stick or a tripod, and it will record and you're good to go. I also have a professional grade EMF detector. This is good for telling if it's underground power lines, overhead power lines, your cell phone or something like that, giving off a type of energy. And also if you're sitting there and it's neutral and then suddenly the energy spikes, you might be experiencing something supernatural or strange. There might be a weird energy passing over top of you that you can't see. So that, I also have this what is it called? The HIC Micro thermal imager. This is actually a thermal camera that will do video and sound, and it records all of the temperature levels. So that might be able to reveal something that normally you wouldn't be able to see. This one is also an RDX nuclear Geiger counter. This is a lot more sensitive than even the other one, and it has an analog dial. So if you need a secondary or even a more powerful radiation detector, this is a good one. So I use a lot of this stuff when I go down in caves, but you never know. I also have the home sensor, the modular unidentified phenomena alert system sensor. So like I said, if we have the hitchhiker phenomena that follows us home, if we witness something strange out here or have paranormal activity after we do this contact protocol meditation, if anything follows us home, we can catch 5 sigma level data of phenomena like gamma radiation spikes, EMF spikes, anything like that, microwave radiation. This device will catch it, and then you can even log the journal entries. And Dr. Jim Segala, who originally worked with Dr. Hal Puthoff at Skinwalker Ranch, is the physicist and the engineer who's building all of these and behind the whole project. So it's a really cool opportunity. And if you want one of those sensors, you can get one for free. You just have to take a survey to qualify. So click the link down in the description if you want to go check that out. I'll let you guys take a look without me talking the whole time, right? Right over there, if you go around the foot of the mesa right there, is where those fossilized dinosaur tracks are. And then over there and up that canyon and parts of that canyon that you see in the distance over there is where all the ancient petroglyphs are. So we are right here over on the east end of all of this canyon, right at the mouth of it, with completely open skies. And honestly, this has been the first night that hasn't been extremely windy and totally cloud covered. So I'm excited to come out here and see what happens. Let's talk about what we're going to be doing here tonight. When I talk about CE5, this is a meditation, a remote viewing protocol that was developed by Dr. Stephen Greer. Whether you like him or not, or think he's credible or not, he is surrounded by everybody from the Rockefeller Initiative, Bigelow. He is affiliated with the entire Stanford Research Institute remote viewing program. And this is a remote viewing method that is like what I would call a reverse remote viewing. So in regular remote viewing, what you do is you have a blind target. Like let's say you wanted me to remote view Skinwalker Ranch specifically. You would put specific questions and photographs of, let's say, Homestead 2 of Skinwalker Ranch in an envelope, and you would not tell me what was in that envelope. And then on the outside of the envelope, you would write a random like 5-digit number, like 72498 or something like that. And then all you would do is give me those numbers, and then I would do the meditation. I would try to use those numbers and perceive what was in the envelope and actually go there in like an out-of-body dream or a vision, and perceive information about hopefully Skinwalker Ranch without even knowing what the numbers are on the outside of the envelope. For all I know, it could be the moon, it could be the Grand Canyon, it could be anything. It could be a dog at the park, for all I know, or something like that. You just have those numbers and you start remote viewing it. But then you get these images in your mind and you start drawing the pictures, putting it all together. And then what happens at the end is you open the envelope, and sure enough, what you saw and what you drew pictures of has a lot to do, or at least like 80% to do with Skinwalker Ranch. And you go, that's fascinating. And then what you can do is go out there based on that information, if it seems credible or like it reveals some new information, and you can hike around and actually find things. That's how last time I was up in that area, I actually was able to hike up and feel like there was petroglyphs higher up on the canyon, and I discovered some ancient petroglyphs up there by Skinwalker Ranch that a lot of the locals didn't even know was there, and I might have been the first person to ever film on camera. So a lot of this stuff is really fascinating. But the reverse remote viewing and how it works is, instead of like trying to perceive a distant location like Skinwalker Ranch, instead what we do is we send out our current location right here with all of the surroundings like a psychic beacon, like a telepathic beacon into outer space that penetrates up into the quantum realm and into parallel dimensions. So what you do is you turn that remote viewing process backwards or inside out, and you imagine like where you're standing in this location, like tonight, where we're in this canyon with the mesa here, surrounded in this open desert area with the beautiful sky. I'm walking around and getting a sense of it because I'm going to be meditating and visualizing this exact spot, like I'm in my truck or next to my truck, and we're going to zoom out like we're looking at a map from overhead, like Google Earth, and we're going to zoom out and fly up into space and penetrate our psychic energy with that visualization out into the other dimensions around us. And then anything that's capable of listening to that or picking up that signal, if it's a UFO, UAP, some non-human intelligence or higher dimensional life or something like that, if they perceive that with good integrity, that's how Chris Bledsoe does it. That's how Jake Barber and his team of psionics claim that they do it. And these are like people who have been to NASA, they're Green Beret, Delta Force operators, and they're saying that's how they do it. So basically we're going to meditate, we're going to visualize our exact location and where we're at, and then we're going to project that image bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're going to zoom it out with like a pin right where we're at with a broadcast signal, like here we are. We want you to come. Anybody out there who can hear us and can perceive my thoughts and intentions throughout the past, outside of space-time, can hear my thoughts and my intentions and can come to visit. And then the idea is, at that time, I'm paying attention to my intuition and my thoughts, and we're also watching the sky. We have all of the sensors and the equipment, the night vision, and if anything shows up, we can catch it on camera. All of the recent whistleblowers that have been coming out, Jacob Barber, all of these guys that have been talking about psionic assets, where they do this exact same thing. These are Green Beret, Delta Force operators that are doing this version of the gateway process, or this version of telepathy and remote viewing in order to what they call summon. Now, when you use that word summon, a lot of people instantly start thinking, well, you're just going to conjure a demon or whatever. You can think whatever you want and believe whatever you want, and that's fine. You don't have to do this. My personal experience and opinion is that it has totally to do with your integrity and your intentions and what you're attracting into the environment. And that word summoning gets misinterpreted a lot of different ways. And so rather than thinking, oh, just because he called it summoning, that you're going to conjure something evil, or that the extraterrestrials are demons or something like that, to me, I think that is kind of a prejudice that is baked in to our culture and the phenomena that a lot of large religious organizations have misled us and told us that in order to suppress the knowledge that we actually have telepathic abilities, and that we have the ability through remote viewing to do these kinds of things. And so that they can control people and suppress that knowledge and keep people from becoming clairvoyant and telepathic and learning all the secrets of the government and politics and the church. They would rather us be codependent and dependent upon their institutions to get those answers and have to look to them to try and peer through the veil. But you don't have to use any organization or anything. The beautiful thing about what we're doing is that you can come out here by yourself, and if you're a good person with good intentions, you really don't have to be afraid. You're able to connect with these higher dimensions and these aspects of yourself without feeling suppressed or like you have to worry about any of that. So when I have a good spot like this, what I like to do is I just have this little lawn chair. It's like a beach one that's meant to sit right low on the ground. I just set it up in the back of my truck like this and chill in the lawn chair. This blanket I ordered is actually an EMF and radiation shielded blanket. So it's lined with some kind of like a silver lining Faraday cage material in between the fabric. So if I get cold, I can cover up with this blanket, but it also kind of neutralizes me from any weird radiation or EMF energy that might be around. All right, I'm all settled in, you guys. I'm getting ready to start my meditation. And this is gonna be awesome because I sat here for a minute, started getting into the mindset. I don't know if you could see that on my iPhone right now, but I'm looking right at Orion, right at Orion's belt. As soon as I just straight up from my point of view where I'm sitting here in the back of the truck, I look up and it's like like Orion and is just staring down at me from the southern sky. So this is going to be really cool. I'm already having strange, like surreal feelings looking up and seeing Orion. Reminds me of a whole deep spiritual conversation that I've had with Chris Bartell about a meditation that he had at Skinwalker Ranch, looking up at Orion when he had a whole vision that was just really amazing. So I feel like I'm in the right mindset. Everything is perfect. So I'm not going to film this next part because also, strangely, I don't feel like I filmed very much. My phone was plugged in the whole drive out here. My battery was at 100% when I got here, and now it's already drained down to 20, like it's going to act like my phone battery is going to die. So here in a second, we're going to be switching over to the thermal imager and my night vision camera, and we'll go from there. Okay, I'm going to do my meditation. Again, this is a combination of the Gateway Protocol and a version of CE5 or reverse remote viewing. This is all stuff that I've developed myself. And also subscribe and turn on notifications if you're curious about this, or go join the Patreon page, because I'm going to be doing other videos where I break down in a lot more detail the difference of the types of remote viewing and the different methodologies, and then keep expanding on my workshops around all of this on my Patreon page. So, okay, I'm going to get in the mindset and the mode. I'm going to turn my phone off, my camera for a little bit, and really get deep with the meditation and do this for real. And so I'll check in with you guys in just a minute. What if the stories that Jacob Barber and the UFO Capture Recovery Program team members are saying, what if that's all true? Like, that would mean that the possibility that you could do this meditation like we're doing tonight, and there could actually be a 20-foot egg UAP that comes down from the sky, or actually comes right out of the ground and manifests, and then could land anywhere out here. Technically, if the stories are true, then we would be able to walk right up to it to film the whole thing and interact. And if there's any entities there, they would be capable of communicating with us. And these concepts of like, our thoughts are just inside your mind and inside your head, it's just like, it's not true. Apparently our thoughts can extend through the nodes of the ley lines of the electromagnetic field and all the way through the quantum realms, and can be detected by other
by other beings. And if that's true, that's pretty amazing. And I want to know everything there is to know about it. Right? But can you imagine sitting here and meditating tonight like this, and then we see an orb of light just like appear out of the ground, come closer, and then land and be like a giant egg, and we're just out here by ourselves? That would be the goal. Who knows, if I end up collaborating with Chris Bledsoe, pretty much anything could happen, right? Could happen right now. I just have had this strong feeling like I'm being watched. I look up, there's Orion looking down. And now this has a low battery. And right when I looked up before I started filming, there was a bright red flash in the sky right here. So I'm going to change the battery on this camera, and we'll see if we can make contact here, because things are already happening. As soon as I stopped recording to change the battery, right from where that red flash was, this orb just appeared. Flying directly over me north. That could be just a satellite reflecting in the evening sun. But there was this bright red flash in the sky, and then all of a sudden this thing appears and is going overhead. And it is really bright. But it is just headed in one direction. Okay, so we could just be getting a satellite there. It was just off the hip over here. It was like a big red ball of light just turned on and off. I saw it before I even had the camera out, but I didn't get it on camera. Okay, I'm going to change the battery, and we'll stay in focus here. All right, we are back on track. This is 100% full battery now. We'll see how long it lasts. In my meditation, I did exactly what we were talking about. So I projected out the location of exactly where we're at with positive integrity. This is after I did the tobacco offering. I did visualized meditation where I projected my consciousness out into the universe like a beacon from where we are, like a lighthouse, like a big drop of water of information that goes woof and washes out across the valley of the canyon, and then goes up, boop, like a drop, like a beacon or a laser beam into space. And then it also echoes out into other dimensions. And then you pay attention to sort of like what you visualize in your mind, or the images that come back, or interesting intuitions that you have. And a lot of times, right when you look up, you see weird things. And honestly, on this channel, those of you that have followed for a while have noticed that when we ask, even when I say it out loud, like, hey, many times when we've been at Skinwalker Ranch and at the Magic Mesa, even when I ask out loud for you to show up and appear to us so that we can see that you're here, can you appear as like a bright light in the sky or an orb? And there it is. See? See? As soon as I asked, see it appear right out of the shoulder of Orion. And it's moving south, coming down. Thank you. as soon as I started saying it, it appeared exactly like we asked. And this thing looks like it's turning a little bit. So let's just keep talking. This is the same thing that happened in Hestel in Norway. If you could just come down onto the mesa, there's a lot of people that would like to meet you. As soon as I asked, like, can you appear as an orb? I just looked away and now I can't see it anymore. I looked away from the camera because I noticed this light down on the ground now. That could be somebody parked over there. Just turned off. See what I mean? This just gets weird. That's down on the ground. And then look at all these blinking lights in the sky. Look. That could be a plane. I can definitely hear a plane going over. You all saw that though. I filmed. There was a light down on the ground, like a orb of light over there. And then as soon as I looked at it and we started talking about it, see? See how it's like counterintuitive? Flash of light right here close. Did you see that? Now, that could be like a bug flying in front of the infrared light, like catches it like a flash, and so you see like a twinkle like that once in a while. That light's not moving, it's just sitting there. See, and then as soon as I talk about it, it turns off again. I haven't seen any vehicles. I'm the only one out here. Just a minute ago, we asked for you to show up as an orb in the sky, and now we've seen one in the sky appear from Orion, and there's some kind of a light that keeps appearing down on the ground. Can you manifest as something different or unusual that makes a turn or comes a lot closer that we can see? Again, I just go through the meditation in my mind, projecting out our location of where we are. Let's visualize like a large triangle, a triangular formation in the sky. If you would like to manifest out of the mesa and come visit us, you can also do that as well.
Let's go ahead and watch all of this on a replay. So I've slowed this footage down and I have digitally zoomed in the editing software. And I gotta say, like, again, right in the video, I admit, I don't know if this is someone over there with a flashlight or with an ATV. You're just gonna have to go off of the fact that the coincidence that I was doing the meditation and asked for an egg-shaped object to come down from the sky and land on the ground is basically exactly what happened. I don't know what else to say other than you can go back to the beginning of the video and watch from the start. You can see that I'm clearly there in the canyon in the daytime looking around, and I do not see anything in this area of the canyon. I'm the only one there. I didn't see any other vehicles. I didn't see any other campers, nobody on a motorcycle. I didn't even hear any other people. But what did happen is, as we were talking about the Psionic team with Jacob Barber's unit and how they use remote viewing and telepathy to summon egg-shaped UFOs, and after I'm literally talking about what would happen if we did a meditation and then an object came down from the sky and appeared on the ground like a big egg that we could just film on camera. And I don't know what else to show you guys other than that's what you're looking at right here. If it is somebody over there just with a flashlight, I'm not sure how they make the light look like the shape of a big egg on the ground over there. But that's what it looks like, a giant glowing egg sitting on the ground in the middle of the valley where all these ancient petroglyphs and artifacts are. I also admit in this video that I do not know if some of the lights in the sky are satellites or space debris or whatever, and if all of this is just coincidence, because you have the object in the sky, then you have this light on the ground, you have this blink of light much closer, obviously at ground level, that appears right there, and you have multiple corresponding and synchronous events that are happening all at the same time. And this is happening as I'm filming myself and I'm doing the contact protocol that we've been discussing. So when it actually works, I'm not sure what everybody expects, but this is what it looks like. This is what happens. You see these anomalous orbs of light in the sky, and then you have something appear down on the ground that looks like it actually vanishes right into the mountain, like it literally goes transmedium and disappears into the ground and just completely vanishes. And this has all been described on so many different whistleblower accounts now that it's difficult, that even when you catch it on camera, I know that this is a 720p camera and there is a big gap between actually being there and what you see on camera. So that's why I take other equipment. I got out my thermal imager, I hit the record button, and I started filming. And from my perception, I recorded almost 2 minutes of thermal image data that proved that there was nothing over there, that it was just the empty valley and the canyon. But when I got home, the actual footage is literally only one frame that is stuck on this still image of the mesa, and no other footage actually recorded. My thermal image camera completely failed. But that's not all. Remember, I mentioned that at home, just a few miles away, is the Modular Unidentified Phenomena Alert System, the MUPAS device. As soon as I was done filming this video and done with my research field expedition behind my house, I was able to go home and match up this exact gamma wave radiation and do a journal entry about this event. This is what the gamma wave radiation looks like. You see a giant dip in the gamma signal, and then the gamma noise arcs up in a giant wave, and you see all of these spikes in gamma radiation that happened simultaneously at the exact same time as we filmed this egg in the valley.
What's that? Hello. That looks like, maybe it's just my vision or the lens in the camera, but that looks like Tic Tac shaped. It looks elongated, and it looks like there's like rainbow lights flickering through it, like a crystal. Will you come back? Were you an egg? Was that an egg? We're just talking about the eggs, and then I look up and there's this thing moving across the sky. There's another one. I kind of spontaneously came out here tonight. I should have downloaded my satellite tracker. I also have a Starlight app, so unless one of these turns or makes a different angle direction, we still have to kind of assume that some of this stuff could be satellites, to be fair. But anything moving in the sky that's obviously not an airplane, I'm going to film it, because you never know if it's going to get brighter, change direction, or zip off really fast, or when we're filming one thing, suddenly we catch another. But there is a lot of stuff that floats around in space that can easily be confused, but it is an awful coincidence when you're doing the meditation, specifically asking like for a shooting star or an egg or orb, triangle, something identifiable to appear, and then right as you're talking about it, you'll be like, whoa, and there's like weird stuff that will suddenly show up right as you ask. Like in Norway at Skinwalker Ranch last time we were there, it happened. It's already happened a couple of times tonight. So it's kind of cool. Like imagine if we're talking right now and then a shooting star goes through the bow of Orion, like the bow and arrow, like an arrow shooting out or something. And right as I'm talking about it, imagine if something like that happened. Or you never know. Then you wonder, like, how much of our consciousness is really connected to the universe around us? And it gets really interesting. But, you know, you get your hopes up, you get too specific, you get hoping and wanting, you start asking, like, oh, if you could show up like this, and like sometimes it's counterintuitive, and it's like if you're asking too much, or it comes off kind of like as a needing energy, like you don't want to telepathically put out a feeling of begging or wanting too much, because that can be sort of a negative thing, like you're too needy and too wanty. Is wanty even a word? Lacking, that's the right word. Like lacking or needing is really not a feeling that you want to be projecting out when you're doing these meditations. You should just be happy and like having a good time, and just like curious and excited and really grateful of like how beautiful it is, and happy to be alive, and that you get to do these like amazing things and come out here and share it with people. And I just try to like have that positivity, think about good things. And then these little visualizations pop in my mind. Like I It's like I can imagine or think that there is something floating around up there that's aware of me. You just say, man, if you could just appear for us, that would be so cool. Right? And a lot of times it's like, as soon as I'll go like this, I'll turn the camera off. Watch, I'll put the camera down, and then we'll see how long it takes for something to pop up as soon as I quit filming. That's how funny it can get. Okay, let's try it. I don't know why I was just sitting here looking up at the stars, and I just got really emotional. Like, tons of blinking lights in the sky over the horizon there, but that could be clear down into Arizona and Nevada. Honestly, that could be some of Nellis Air Force Base or flights headed into Nevada. But I don't know. Look at all that. That one red light is definitely, but what are these other blinking lights? Kind of look like planes the way they're double flashing. I still haven't seen that light down on the ground again over there. It's been a little bit quiet. A lot of sitting and meditating for a long time. It's starting to get cold too, very cold. We might have to go back in the daylight and search along these ridge lines. I wonder if there's caves or petroglyph over here where that light is appearing. If there's even a road to get over there, I don't know. There's one moving. See it right there coming off the back end of Orion. A lot of activity going on around Orion tonight. See, that's an airplane going beneath it. I can't see it anymore now. I've been sitting here for quite a while, just meditating. Gotta be honest, I did fall asleep twice while I was meditating, looking up at the sky, and it was super surreal to suddenly wake up and be looking up at the stars, like, and taking like a moment and being like, oh yeah, I'm out in the desert. That's always interesting, but so beautiful to wake up and to see all of this up above you. But with that, I have been here for a bit and I have not seen any activity in the sky. I have not seen anything move. There's been some planes that have flown over, but not even a satellite, nothing moving. It's been so quiet and peaceful. This thing over on the ground over here, whatever, if there was a light that was turning on or off, I have not seen that again still. And now that it's colder, I think I might get the thermal imager back out and pan it around and see if I can't see a little bit better over there. Since I dozed off and fell asleep, now I'm like chilled to the bone. I'm really cold sitting out here. The weather's nice. It's not bad, but I fell asleep kind of with the blankets off of me a little bit, and now I'm freezing. So I think I'm going to jump in the truck for a minute, put all my gear away. I might turn the heater on, and let's just drive a little bit further up this dirt road, see if there's even like a way to get over there, and then we'll just go up this road a little ways, see if we see anything or how we feel, and then we might need to come back and just do some daytime exploring, see if we can see any kind of petroglyphs or caves. We'll go see if we can find a road that goes over there where that light could have been.
Well, I do see like motorcycle trails and different things that vary off into the desert where people go off-roading. So I mean, it definitely could have been campers over there, somebody in a truck or side by side or whatever. But man, it's kind of cold out tonight, but never know. There could be an SUV and RV over there camping. I'm gonna keep driving up here and see if the road actually goes over that way or if it turns off. But it's a different place at night. When you come out here in the daytime, it feels like you're just in the barren desert. But then when the sun goes down, you turn your headlights on or get walking around with a flashlight, you realize that all this scrub brush and this desert sage, you get walking out in there, and it's pretty tall. It feels like you're in like a low forest or something. You get out there in the bushes, and a lot of them are taller than you. But yeah, we'll have to do some night investigations up the canyons up here, and I definitely want to come back in the daytime and explore a little bit farther over here to see if we can find where that light was. And then I want to do some more exploring to see if we can find the dinosaur tracks, any more dinosaur tracks. And we might need to spend a night out in the Petroglyph Canyon itself. That's something that I have not done here. I've only hiked up it in the daytime and then left when the sun's gone down. So it would be really interesting. But still, here we're driving all the way up here. I still don't see a turn off to the left to go out there where that light was. We'll see. Here's a little wash that goes back that way, kind of. But there's definitely not a road. That's just like for water when it rains out here for flash floods. Maybe is this a turn? This does look like it goes that way, kind of. Aha. There is a road kind of going this way, and there is a trail right here going out that way. So we're gonna have to come back in the daytime, follow this road out, and see where it goes.